There was once a book called The Secret. It became popular all around the world. Its message was very simple but powerful. Ask, believe, act as if it has already happened. Then the universe will bring you what you want. This message gave hope to many people. For people struggling with money, family problems, or a future they could no longer believe in. The idea that anything can come true if you want it enough felt like a small candlelit in a dark room. It gave them comfort and courage. But over time, many people who held on that hope learned one thing. Money did not come just because they thought about it. Success did not happen just because they imagined it. Acting as if something had already happened did not automatically create the reality they wanted. So some people said,
"It was all a lie. The universe brought me nothing. I wanted it desperately, but nothing happened." Wait, are you saying it failed because I did not believe enough?
In The Secret, thoughts were described almost like orders sent to the universe. People thought that if they sent an order to the universe with enough desire, everything would be delivered, just like a product ordered from an online store. But a thought about the future we want is not actually an order form sent to the universe. A thought is input. It's input for human body, the brain, and the behavioral system. Reality itself does not change just because we think about it. When we set a specific goal and think about it, our attention naturally moves in that direction. When attention moves, emotion follows. When emotion moves, choices change. When choices change, actions change. When actions change, results change. This is not magic. This is a system. And the things we want are often the results produced by the system. Think about someone learning to snowboard for the first time. When riding down the slope, it is easier to keep balance when the arms are naturally spread out. Because the slope is already tilted, sliding down is not the hardest part. The real challenge is changing direction. Because for beginners, changing direction is difficult. And then something interesting happens. If the rider looks to the left, the upper body opens to the left. When the upper body turns, the waist follows. When the waist turns, the lower body follows. As a result, the snowboard moves to the left. Turning to the right works in the same way. In snowboarding, the body aligns with the direction of the gaze. In human life, actions align with the direction we keep looking at. A shift in gaze is tiny, but the small change in input can change the direction of movement. We do not change the direction of the snowboard with magic. We do not command the universe. Our attention is directional input for the body, and the body moves according to that input. The universe is not responding. The system is following the input. In computer cryptography, there is a mode called CBC, or Cipher blockchaining. One feature of CBC is that the result of a previous block affects how the next block is processed. Each step does not work completely independently. The output of one step is connected to the next step like input. Human thinking works in a similar way. When the same thought is repeated, it is no longer just imagination. It becomes a direction. A person who repeatedly thinks, "I can do this," and a person who repeatedly thinks, "I am probably not going to make it," may be in the same situation, but eventually they are likely to move in different directions. This does not mean that positive thinking makes everything come true. To reach a goal, we still need skill, we need time, we need repetition. Circumstances matter, and luck matters too. But even so, what we think matters, because a thought becomes input for the next action, and that action becomes input for the next thought. A thought chain moves a person. You set a small goal, take a small action, and get a small result. That result builds self-efficacy. The confidence created by a small success becomes input for the next action. This chain moves a person little by little in a better direction. But some people think they cannot do it. They say it is too late to start. They say maybe it would have worked 3 years ago, but now the market is too saturated. And they say success will be difficult. These reasons can sound realistic. They can even sound reasonable. But after hearing every good reason not to try, the mind becomes anxious, sad, and powerless. So the person delays the work that needs to be done. The situation becomes worse than before. We may not know which came first, but the confirmation bias that says, I knew it wouldn't work, becomes even stronger. As a result, this thought chain slowly damages the person's behavioral system. In both cases, it started as only one thought, but each thought chain led the person's life in a different direction. When riding a snowboard down a slope, we cannot suddenly ride uphill. Gravity and speed are already acting on the movement. It is similar to human life. We cannot turn time back 5 years. What we can do is change where we are looking and change the direction of the life ahead of us. We may not be able to completely break an existing thought chain at once, but we can change the input used in the next stage of life. So we must be careful with our thoughts, especially the self-sabotage that repeats inside the mind. Self-sabotage is like this. The boxer fighting hard in the ring is you, but another version of you is sitting in the crowd constantly booing that fighter. Criticism and booing towards yourself will never help you win the game. So instead of self-sabotage, we need to give ourselves support that truly wants us to win. That is the input we should give to the next version of ourselves. This was LifeCodec. See you in the next patch.